Hello and welcome to one another bonus lecture. Before we start with our object-oriented programming part of our comprehensive course on machine learning, data science, and artificial intelligence. As initial 17 chapters are about Python programming, and as the course is designed in such a manner that even a person who has zero knowledge of programming should be able to follow along. Therefore, so far in the chapter, I am explaining each and every step of the program. Not only that, in previous bonus lecture, I introduced a tool called Thuni. That tool shows execution of the program in a visualized manner. That means it shows how variables come into existence and finally are destroyed, or they change their value during the life cycle of a program, how various mutable data structures like lists, etc., they are modified during the life cycle of a program, how control moves from one point of the program to the other point of the program. For example, whenever you use the if-else statement, or whenever you use for loop or while loop, how control shifts from one point to another. So, Thuni gives visual understanding of that. And if someone is having absolutely no programming background, or at least maybe having programming background but has lost touch for maybe last 3-4 years and wants to switch into data science, then he has to master at least one programming language. Hence, I am teaching this way. However, some learners who have enrolled, they may be already having some programming knowledge. So they might feel what this fellow is talking about in this era of AI tools and code assistants. He is explaining each and every line of the code, and he is explaining how control flows from one point to another. I know all that. Please go ahead. Now, for the benefit of those people, I am introducing a few open source tools which are available as an extension to VS Code. They are also available for JupyterLab, but there the compatibility is a little bit clunky, and I at least experimented and they work well with VS Code, and another is PyCharm. So they work pretty well. So this is, and the great thing about VS Code is that PyCharm also can handle the Jupyter notebooks and JupyterLab, but for that you require PyCharm Pro version, and that has around $280 or something per year, which is pretty costly. VS Code allows to handle Jupyter notebook, and that is free. So that's why here I am choosing VS Code, and here I have added a few AI code generators. I have added actually many. If I show them here, then perhaps this Codogen, then this Claude, then this Cody, then this Codium, then this RubberDuck, all this. All are not required. I was just experimenting with some. That's why I have added all, but all are not required. Now, here you can see that how powerful these tools have become. For example, say I want to write a function to find nth Fibonacci number, okay, and then I just have to write def fib nth and colon, and immediately it has shown first line. So I just press F. I have accepted that line. It has given second line. I have accepted that line too. Now it will give next line, or if it does not give next line, then you give it some little bit of hint that else and further. Okay, so it will immediately start giving the next line. Just take your cursor to the right side and press tab again, and next line is available. So now this is the function. I trust my AI code because I am going to test it. Now this is yet another tool. So say now that is not actually code generator tool, but it is a kind of tool which helps to refactor your code. And whenever you write production grade code or professional level code, so at that time such refactoring is required. But at present I am leaving it. Some other day I will show you the use of that tool. So this is my function defined. I just execute it. Function is already defined. Now I just have to call it. So suppose I want to get 10th Fibonacci number. So I write fib10 and press Control Enter, and it immediately gives 10th Fibonacci number is 55. So you can imagine that what the meaning of that sentence, which I say that coding has now not no longer remain the important criteria for data science or for any career. Of course, you need to have some basic concepts what you want to do. Let us take another example. Say that leap year code. If you remember, we had done one code, is leap year. Okay, so you can see I just write is leap, and it immediately suggests. Then I accept that suggestion, and if year is modulo, even that also I accept the suggestion. If year modulo, then else return false, return false. Okay. Now every time it will not give. Sorry, I forgot to accept it whatever it suggests. So yes, this was a better cryptic way of doing. So I am writing this return true, else return false. then this is the way to call that function. So I am taking that to next step. Here is leap year 2020. Then similarly, I take another code cell and take the same thing, is leap year, but this time I take 2000. Both these are leap year, another code cell, and is leap year. This time I take a non-leap year, 1997. Perhaps I should put the print statement also, because otherwise I think Jupyter Notebook prints output, but I'm not sure about when Jupyter Notebook is used using VS Code, it will print output or not. Okay. Now this is the function. I execute it. There is some error, invalid syntax, so I will have to check about that. What is function is defined. There is no need of parenthesis. So that is what is clear. Now if I so that much knowledge at least one person should have, that elementary knowledge of programming. Then is leap year 2020 true? Is leap year 2000 true? Is leap year 1997 false? Now you can understand how powerful this can be. And then similarly, I write another function, def is prime n. So that means basically I want to write a function which is which when number is passed to it returns whether it is a prime number or not. So if n less than or equal to 1, return false, and everything, whole code is just suggested, and I trust it and accept it. I will check it in any case, so it will be detected if it is now is underscore prime 2. So I am checking for 2. I am checking for is underscore prime 3. Is underscore prime 4. Is underscore prime, and this time suppose 9. Okay, and just execute that. So you will get the answer. 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number. Here I forgot to give the number for 4. So then 4 is not a prime number, and 9 is also not a prime number. Now this is the power of this kind of AI code assistance. And there, of course, you have to log into their site once, and in their privacy policy, they assure you that this Codogen and Codemium both, but I have seen the privacy policy of this Codemium. So then that is this particular Codium, and I have at least checked their privacy policy, and they ensure that we never train our models on users' data. So if we trust them, then we can use them. Otherwise, some people have also made extensions for using your own local large language model. For example, here now this is an extension, and which uses Ollama 7B and CodeLlama 7 billion instruct. It is installed on my PC. Now then everything, whole passing the command, getting the answer, and everything will just remain on my PC only. Even if I switch off internet, still nothing will escape the internet. So if you are very much privacy conscious, then you can use such extensions. But for that, first you have to learn how to use a local large language model on your own PC, and usually that require a pretty powerful hardware. At least it should have maybe NVIDIA GPU around minimum RTX 3000 or something, and it should have a RAM of around maybe 24 GB or at least more than that, and it should have processor also pretty powerful. So if you are in the business of deep learning, data science, artificial intelligence, then you can afford to buy such PC. It usually costs somewhere around 8 lakh rupees. So if you don't want to buy, then you can use this. You can even use VS Code OpenAI. So at that time also you can use in the OpenAI, you can use there somewhere here, I think it should be there. I forgot how to use that. Yes, this is the VS Code OpenAI. Now here you have to pass your OpenAI API key, and that will be stored on your computer only. But that means you have to get a paid OpenAI connection, paid OpenAI subscription for the API, and once you pass it, then you can use it in this manner inside your. For example, here if I type my message that give me a function in Python that decides if given year is leap year or not, and I press enter. Now here I think it is asking me to update to latest version of extension. So perhaps my extension has gone a little bit old. Okay, let me show you another tool. There are so many tools that you user is spoiled for choice. Say rubber duck. Okay, start a new chat and give me a Python function that helps to decide if a year passed as parameter is leap year or not. And you can see in a fraction of second you get the whole function and you get the answer also. So even the code completion has gone now one step ahead. This is the power of large language model, that you should be able to describe what you want to do in words, and the rest of the things is taken care at the back end. But for this you have to provide your OpenAI API key, okay, and that requires a credit card, and that requires some payment depending upon your usage of API. So it is a pay and use kind of model, okay. So that's about this lecture. Still, I apologize for one thing, that for some more lectures, I will follow the old style method of teaching, that is speaking each and every line of code. That is how control is moving from one point to another and everything. So please bear with me. Don't think that I don't know all these things, or I will not include all this later on in our workflow. We will definitely include such AI tools. But there comes a time for everything, particularly for a person who is totally new to Python. He does not know how NumPy is working, what are its capabilities, how Pandas is working, what are capabilities, how Matplotlib library works, then how maybe Plotly works. So at least he should be having fair idea about the capabilities and working of maybe around 10 to 11 basic libraries of Python which are used for data science. Once that much is done, we can switch to AI tools. Otherwise, what will happen? And this has happened to many interns or many learners who come to me, because I told you that I also learn an offline class. So this has happened that I give them freedom, that okay, you use ChatGPT. I even allow them to use my professional version of ChatGPT or any other tool you want to use, AI tool. But in spite of giving all the tools, they cannot write the code. The reason is that they don't know which question to ask or how to take work from AI tools. Because an AI tool or a large language model is also as good as the question which you ask. So if you ask garbage question, it will ask the garbage answer. So that is how it is. So these initial few chapters are meant for making you capable of asking right question. Okay. And actually, we slightly older generation people really envy your generation. We had to do everything manually, that writing HTML code and writing Python code and writing Java code for big data and everything. Now, your generation is completely free from the drudgery aspect of the programming and repeating the same boilerplate code again and again and again. For example, you are designing a website using pure Python, and you are designing the user registration form. Now you have designed it once using the code. Then we usually use the same code by copy pasting. That type of code is called boilerplate code. We save it in some script and we use Python module and import that module in other projects and other projects. Now, if your boss or your teachers are insisting that you write that same boilerplate code again and again, then well, that becomes boring for anybody. We have passed through all that, but luckily your generation does not need to pass. Okay, so we will use these tools whenever opportunity arises and whenever there is right time, and you have to trust me for that.